If you watch the Ignite news from last week, you would actually see that Microsoft redefined the Power Platform to include a new product called Microsoft Power Virtual Agents. In this demo, I'm going to show you how you would easily integrate that into an existing website or channel that you want to make it easier on your customers to get and access information they need. So if you actually go to the Microsoft Power Virtual Agents preview site um, and click on the try preview, the first experience you're going to get is just simply naming your bot. Now, this takes a minute or two to actually create it. So what I've done is actually I've gone ahead and created one already. And this is the experience that you'll see after you've created your bot. You actually have this UI, and the topics that you interact with are actually already listed. You get a bunch of them predefined. In this example, I've created one called water permit. And water permit has these trigger phrases like apply water permit online, water permit pre-approved, what is the process? And actually the artificial intelligence would go out and extrapolate on top of that. So even if I spelled permit wrong or water wrong or went out and said I want a, it would actually still go out and trigger this particular flow itself or this particular workflow. And what is actually going to happen at that point is it's going to go out and tell you that it needs certain information, ask you if you want to proceed, and then based on if a yes value, in this case it's yes, it's going to go out and it looks like I'm sending a PDF in all cases, but then it's going to ask you what state are you in, and then it's going to send you the correct state for Queensland, New South Wales, or Victoria. At that point, it's going to go out and tell you hello or give you different ways of or different finishes for each state. Let's go ahead and integrate this into our existing website. So I'm going to go ahead and go to manage and choose channels. And you'll see that there's all kinds of channels I could put my bot into. In this case, I want to put it into a custom website. Now, the website I'm going to use is Microsoft Power Portals and or Power Apps Portals. Here we go. And let's actually take a look at one of those running. So this is one that I created from a stock template. I think I changed 3 or 4 graphics and I changed a little bit of text. I didn't do a whole lot else. And this one's got an iframe of the New South Wales water usage. Let's change that to a bot that lets you get your permit itself. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that same Power Portal or Power Apps portal inside of the designer and select that iframe, and you'll see that it actually asks you for the link itself. Now, if you saw a second ago for my bot, I copied the link for the bot. Now, if I save this, we should actually see that this bot is going to show up right here. There we go. And now if we run this website, there we go. We'll actually see that we can interact with the bot in our own website. Let's go ahead and say hello. And the bot's going to come back with the stock answer that you actually saw a second ago. In this case, I want to actually do a water permit and have that water permit sent to me. And just like you saw a second ago, it says, hey, I need this information. Do you want to proceed? Yes, we do. And then we would expect a prompt for which state. I'm going to go ahead and choose New South Wales. And at this point, it actually goes out and tells me that the email is sent. Um, I, Usually that first one's already sent. I'll listen to it and it'll get sent in a second ago. So let's go ahead and say yes, that answered my question. Now what I want to do is I want to show you how you would actually take those PDFs that were sent back and forth using artificial intelligence to put it into a database. So it's actually going to read handwriting or text and interpret the data itself. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into Power App Studio. And in this case, I've got a Canvas app. This is the third type of Power Apps application: model, portal, and canvas. In this case, what I'm going to do is go out to the AI Builder menu and choose Forms Processor. The Forms Processor is going to ask me what model. This is where I trained it against 5 versions of that PDF. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick him at the top. Okay, so it knows about what type of PDFs to look for. At this point, I actually need to go out and just put the data into my database. In this case, it's a CDS data. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of room. And it's going to ask me for the data source. I'm going to go out and specify the data source is the entity that Lisa helped create earlier called WT registrations. And it looks like it only has the one field by default. So let's actually add some more fields. What other fields do we want? Address for certain. Do we have state? How about price? What other fields do we have in here? Oh, email. Let's grab those. Of course, I could grab them all. I just don't want to actually map them all from my PDF to my database. So that's going to take a little bit of code. Let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. So let's highlight this and then go into my advanced, edit it, and under my default properties, change it from just the standard default to the information I get from my forms processor. So if you saw me drag that over there, you actually see that it was called forms processor 1. So that's this. I don't know if you saw it just highlighted that in green, that this is the object I'm using. And then which content we want to get out of it, that's the form content. And then I can actually look at all the different fields that this model had, and one of them is called name. Let's highlight that, Control C, go back in, highlight that, um, make it so we can edit it, go out and paste this in here. And rather than name this case, we want to do, it looks like this one's address. So we're going to go out and grab the address. And we actually don't see those values in there. While I'm finishing the rest of them, let's go ahead and bring in a PDF file itself. So it was like water permit, and let's go ahead and open that. And while that's opening, we're going to go ahead and actually map the rest of these. And you'll see at some point, it's actually going to go ahead and process that one PDF that I used or I referenced, and I can go ahead and, there we go, paste this value in there, and this one was price. Do we have a price? Yeah, there's a price. Let's put that in there, and you can see that it's actually brought that data from the PDF while I was typing. And lastly, we are going to bring in the email address from the PDF file, and we're going to go ahead and change that to email. Great. Now, let's go ahead and submit this. And the way we do that with Power Apps is it wants to know if you need a new record, and that's going to be my new record. And then it wants to know if you want to save it. And yes, I'm going to save that value. So let's type in the arguments that says, hey, new record. So say new form, and then the form. And if you look at it, it highlighted the form that we were just creating. And then this one says save it, and which is actually called submit and form. And once again, it highlighted the form that we're going to save. And if we run this, hit analyze. Oh, we actually don't need to analyze, but we could bring in another one. Why not? I'm going to go out and bring in a new form. And we're going to wait for a second to have that new PDF analyzed. Waiting for it, waiting for it. There's the value. So we got Bob Smith at Run Spring Road, 40 bucks. And it looks like we actually have a extra underscore there. And let's go ahead and save that to my CDS instance. So there you go. Going out and integrating a bot into your website, in this case, a Power Apps portal website, and then using AI to break open PDFs and actually put that back in your data store. Thank you very much.